In the last few days, Earth has experienced heightened solar turmoil, and the skies above our planet have shifted into a canvas of color and wonder. A powerful coronal mass ejection had erupted from the Sun, sending a wave of charged particles toward the planet and creating one of the most vivid global displays of the northern lights seen in years. Yet among the thousands of photographs shared, one image taken in California stood apart for reasons far stranger than the auroras themselves. The witness, a resident living on the outskirts of a quiet California town, had stepped outside shortly after sunset to take photographs of the northern lights. With her camera, she captured sweeping bands of pale green as they drifted over the landscape. It was then, while reviewing her images, that she saw something that did not belong. In the upper portion of one photograph, partially veiled by the luminous haze of the aurora, was a shape that seemed to flicker in and out of visibility. It was not a cloud, nor a star, nor an artifact from her camera. It was something geometric, defined by edges that were too precise, too angular, too deliberate to be a natural formation. She zoomed in on the object and was struck with a chill of recognition. The shape resembled a large black triangle, but its surface seemed to distort the air around it, as if it were phasing in and out of the visible spectrum. She described the experience as witnessing a glitch in the fabric of reality, like something partially cloaked that was never meant to be seen. The object did not emit light, yet it maintained a faint, ghost-like outline, silhouetted only by the glow of the northern lights behind it. She watched it for several long moments, unable to look away. The stillness of it was unsettling, as if this triangle-shaped craft were suspended silently above her home, observing without movement. Feeling a rush of fear and disbelief, she ran inside to call her husband, urging him to witness what she had seen. Yet by the time they returned only moments later, the object had vanished completely. Not a trace of its outline remained in the sky. They stayed outside for more than an hour, hoping it would reappear, but the sky remained still except for the drifting auroras. When she shared her photographs online, amateur researchers immediately took interest. The triangular silhouette matched descriptions of countless sightings reported over the past several decades. Enormous, silent, angular craft that appeared to glide effortlessly through the sky, often remaining visible only for brief moments before fading into the darkness. Many of these sightings described the objects as cloaked, as if using some form of technology that blended them into the night sky. What made this case particularly compelling was the presence of the auroras. Some suggested that the influx of charged solar particles interfered with the craft's cloaking system, causing it to partially reveal itself and allowing the camera to capture its outline. Throughout modern history, triangle-shaped UFOs have been reported across nearly every region of the planet. Witnesses commonly describe them as massive structures with lights at each corner, capable of hovering silently for long periods before accelerating at unimaginable speeds. They move with a precision that seems beyond any known form of propulsion. Their silent nature is one of their most distinctive features. Observers often remark that they produce no sound whatsoever, even when appearing low enough in the sky that any aircraft should have rattled rooftops with its engines. Instead, an eerie stillness surrounds them, as if they dampen or absorb the sound around their presence. One long-standing theory proposes that these craft belong to an advanced, non-human intelligence. Proponents argue that the way these objects maneuver defies the limits of human engineering. Their ability to hover weightlessly, transition into rapid flight without visible thrusters, and appear or disappear at will suggests a mastery over physics that far exceeds terrestrial capabilities. Some believe that such craft might utilize gravity manipulation, optical distortion, or even forms of propulsion unknown to modern science. Within this interpretation, the California sighting becomes part of a pattern, one that suggests these craft have been quietly observing the planet for a very long time. The witness's description of the object flickering into visibility aligns with the idea that such craft are designed to remain hidden from human eyes, revealing themselves only when environmental conditions interfere with their technology. The powerful solar storm and intense auroras may have disrupted the cloaking mechanism, allowing the witness to capture a rare image of a craft that typically remains unseen. Another widely discussed possibility is that these triangular craft are part of highly classified human aerospace programs. Some researchers argue that government agencies have developed advanced stealth vehicles capable of silent flight and unusual movement patterns. These programs, they say, may have been running for decades, with sightings being accidental exposures of technology intended to remain secret. However, even supporters of this explanation acknowledge its limitations. If such craft were human-made, the level of secrecy surrounding them would be extraordinary, and their performance capabilities would surpass anything publicly acknowledged by any nation on Earth. Additionally, the sheer number of sightings worldwide, often occurring in remote or unexpected locations, suggests a presence that seems far too widespread to be explained solely by classified military tests. Many of the sightings occur in regions with no connection to military bases or testing grounds. In these contexts, the extraterrestrial interpretation remains compelling to those who believe the phenomenon extends beyond human innovation. As the auroras continued to glow across the world, the California sighting became one of the most talked-about anomalies of the event. People marveled at the possibility that the solar storm had revealed something hidden in the sky, something that watchers had sensed for years but rarely captured in such a compelling form. In UFO groups, more individuals began to share similar experiences. Some claimed to have seen sudden flickering lights in the sky that vanished when observed directly. The world had stepped outside to witness a natural wonder, but in doing so, countless eyes were opened to something far stranger. The Northern Lights, magnificent in their own right, had become the backdrop to a deeper mystery, one that suggested that humanity might not be alone, and that something advanced, silent, and watchful had been observing from above. For the woman who captured the now famous photograph, the experience left a lasting impression. The object she saw was not a distant shape or a fleeting light. It was a towering, silent craft that appeared as a dark triangle hovering high above the earth, its presence revealed only because nature briefly lifted the veil that hid it. She had captured a moment that many believed represented undeniable evidence of something far greater than human understanding. A clear image of a black triangle UFO has just been uploaded online, showing the craft hovering in the sky during the daytime above England. Unlike the typical grainy, blurry, and indistinct photos that accompany most UFO sightings, this image stands out due to its clarity and the level of detail visible on the craft. The emergence of such an image has created discussions in the UFO research community, as black triangle UFOs are typically seen at night, making a daylight sighting of this magnitude extremely rare. For years, one of the biggest criticisms of UFO sightings has been the poor quality of photographic and video evidence. Many skeptics argue that if UFOs were real, then why do we not have clear images of them? This new photograph challenges that narrative head-on. Given how notoriously bad smartphone cameras are at capturing fast-moving objects or aerial phenomena, the fact that this image is so sharp and detailed makes it one of the most compelling pieces of evidence to emerge in recent years. One of the most frustrating aspects of UFO documentation is the difficulty of capturing them clearly on camera. Modern smartphones, despite their technological advancements, are not well equipped for photographing objects in the sky, especially fast-moving or distant ones. When a person tries to take a photo of an object in the sky, autofocus struggles, lighting conditions distort clarity, and motion blur often ruins the shot. This is why most UFO photos end up appearing unclear, shaky, or lacking in detail. Additionally, UFO sightings often occur suddenly and unexpectedly, leaving the witness with only a few seconds to react. In that short window, a person must pull out their phone, unlock it, open the camera app, focus on the object, and then take the picture, all while dealing with adrenaline, excitement, and sometimes fear. Given these factors, it is understandable why most UFO images and videos lack quality. This is what makes the newly uploaded black triangle UFO image so significant. Unlike most blurry, ambiguous photos, this image shows a structured, geometric craft with sharp edges and clearly defined features. As far as UFO images go, this is one of the best captures seen in years. Black triangle UFOs have been reported for decades, and they are among the most commonly documented UFO sightings. These massive, silent, triangular-shaped craft are often described as having 3 bright lights at each corner, with a sometimes visible central light or markings along the underside. Unlike traditional saucer-shaped UFOs, black triangles have a more mechanical, structured appearance, leading many to speculate that they could be classified military craft, possibly reverse-engineered from non-human technology. What makes this particular sighting even more intriguing is that black triangles are almost always seen at night. Most reports describe them as moving slowly or hovering silently, blending in with the darkness, often spotted against the night sky or near military installations. This new image, however, clearly captures the craft in broad daylight, making it one of the few daylight sightings of a black triangle ever documented. The fact that it was captured during the daytime suggests that this craft was not trying to conceal itself, which raises even more questions about who or what was operating it. In recent years, the conversation surrounding UFOs has changed dramatically, with multiple government officials, military pilots, and intelligence insiders coming forward to acknowledge that unidentified aerial phenomena are real and being actively studied. The stigma surrounding UFOs has begun to erode. However, despite the growing acknowledgement from governments worldwide, clear photographic evidence has remained scarce. The release of this high-quality black triangle UFO image could represent a turning point. If this image is authentic and not tampered with, it could be one of the most compelling visual confirmations of UFO reality. The clarity of the photo allows for proper analysis, enabling experts to study its structure, compare it to known military aircraft, and determine whether it exhibits characteristics beyond human engineering. There is also the possibility that this sighting was intentional, that whoever or whatever controls these craft wanted it to be seen. A daylight sighting of this nature could be a deliberate step toward more open UFO disclosure, potentially signaling that we are being prepared for a broader revelation about non-human technology and intelligence. One of the biggest questions surrounding black triangle UFOs is whether they are extraterrestrial in origin or part of a classified military program. Many researchers believe that at least some black triangles could be advanced human-made aircraft, possibly related to the TR-3B, a rumored top-secret anti-gravity craft allegedly developed by the US military. Others speculate that these craft may be hybrid technology, partially reverse-engineered from non-human vehicles retrieved in crash retrieval programs. However, if this newly captured black triangle was a classified military craft, why would it be flying in broad daylight, where it could be easily photographed? Military testing of experimental aircraft is typically conducted in highly restricted areas, far from public visibility. The fact that this craft was hovering openly over England in the daytime suggests that it was not concerned with secrecy, or perhaps that it is not a human-made object at all. Many people have long questioned whether these black triangle UFOs are truly human-made secret aircraft or something far more advanced. If these craft were classified military projects, logic dictates that they would be flown in highly restricted airspace, away from public view. However, the reality is quite the opposite. These black triangles are frequently sighted over densely populated areas, where thousands of people can see them, often hovering silently for extended periods before executing sudden, physics-defying maneuvers. This alone has led many to seriously doubt that these craft belong to any known government or military project. For any highly classified black project aircraft to exist, it would require hundreds, if not thousands, of engineers, scientists, and military personnel working under strict non-disclosure agreements. Such projects demand an absolute commitment to secrecy, with those involved under constant surveillance, legally bound, and monitored to prevent leaks. If these black triangles were top-secret aircraft, it would make little sense to risk exposing them by flying them openly over cities or populated areas. Why would such an advanced classified technology, kept under wraps for years, suddenly appear in the skies where the public can witness it? This contradiction is one of the main reasons why many UFO researchers and eyewitnesses firmly believe that these craft do not belong to us. In addition to their bizarre flight behavior, these black triangles exhibit characteristics far beyond any known human technology. Unlike traditional aircraft, they are completely silent, even when hovering or moving at high speeds. Conventional aircraft, even stealth fighters and bombers, produce sound due to their propulsion systems. The lack of any audible engine noise or sonic booms when these objects accelerate strongly suggests that they operate on an unknown form of propulsion, possibly anti-gravitational or electromagnetic in nature. Another mystery surrounding these black triangles is their ability to hover motionless in mid-air for extended periods. Modern aircraft, including the most advanced fighter jets, require thrust to stay airborne. Even vertical takeoff aircraft like the Harrier jet rely on powerful jet propulsion to hover. The fact that these black triangles remain stationary without any visible means of support suggests a technology far beyond what is publicly acknowledged. If this is a man-made military craft, then it would imply a technological leap so vast that it would redefine everything we know about aviation and physics. Another striking aspect of these craft is their ability to enter restricted airspace without being detected. On numerous occasions, military radar operators have reported black triangles intruding into secure areas, yet no aircraft scramble to intercept them. In contrast, if an unauthorized military jet or drone were to enter restricted airspace, it would immediately trigger a response, often with fighter jets being deployed to investigate or intercept the unknown object. The fact that these craft repeatedly breach restricted zones without consequence suggests that they are either beyond human control or possess stealth capabilities far beyond any known military technology. Even more baffling is their maneuverability. These black triangles can accelerate instantly, change direction at impossible angles, and travel at speeds that surpass even the most advanced fighter jets. Pilots and radar operators have reported seeing these craft perform aerial maneuvers that would generate extreme G-forces, far beyond what a human pilot could withstand. If these craft belonged to any known military power, then their existence would completely revolutionize the aerospace industry overnight. The simple fact that no official government or defense agency has ever claimed ownership of these objects only reinforces the idea that they do not belong to any nation on Earth. The combination of silence, hovering ability, stealth penetration, and unmatched speed and maneuverability presents an overwhelming case that these craft are not conventional military aircraft. If they were, it would require a level of technological advancement that remains completely unknown to the general public and even to most military institutions. The fact that they continue to be seen in areas where they can be easily documented raises questions about their true origin and purpose. Many eyewitnesses and researchers suspect that these black triangles could be of non-human origin. If an extraterrestrial intelligence were operating these craft, it would explain why they appear to disregard human airspace restrictions, defy known physics, and avoid direct interactions with military responses. Unlike human-made aircraft, these objects seem to operate with an entirely different set of rules, as if they are observing us rather than engaging with us. There is also the possibility that these craft belong to a hidden breakaway civilization or secret space program, one that has developed advanced propulsion and energy technologies far ahead of what is officially known. If this were the case, it would mean that certain factions within the global elite possess knowledge and control over technology that could revolutionize our world, yet they choose to keep it hidden from the public. Regardless of their true origins, the repeated sightings of these black triangles in populated areas suggest that something significant is happening. Either humanity is being slowly introduced to the existence of these craft through an intentional disclosure process, or these sightings are the result of an intelligence operating independently of human oversight. If these objects do not belong to any known military program, then who is controlling them, and why are they being seen so frequently? One thing is certain. The phenomenon of black triangle UFOs cannot be ignored. With increasing public awareness, improved camera technology, and a growing willingness from government insiders to discuss UFOs, the mystery surrounding these craft may soon be closer to being solved. Until then, the sightings continue, leaving behind more questions than answers. A newly surfaced satellite image has revealed a mysterious egg-shaped UFO at a highly classified military site in India, specifically at the Defense Research and Development Organization, India's equivalent of the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency in the United States. The discovery has sparked intense speculation among UFO researchers and military analysts as the object was photographed just outside one of the organization's military hangars, leading many to believe that it was in the process of being moved or stored at the moment the satellite passed over. Measuring 7 meters or 22 feet in length, this peculiar object has drawn global attention, with some suggesting it may be a recovered extraterrestrial craft or an advanced human-made aerospace vehicle. The Defense Research and Development Organization is responsible for India's most secretive and cutting-edge defense projects, ranging from missile systems to advanced robotics and aerospace technologies. Given the organization's high level of security and classified research programs, the sudden appearance of an egg-shaped unidentified object on one of its secured sites raises significant questions. If this object were a part of an undisclosed defense project, why was it exposed outside the hangar, seemingly in an open area where it could be observed by satellites? Some analysts believe that the UFO may have been temporarily relocated from inside the facility, possibly as part of a routine movement or testing operation. However, others suggest that this may have been an accidental exposure, with the object only appearing in the satellite image because it was caught during a rare moment before being hidden away again. The distinct egg-shaped design of the object is particularly intriguing because similar egg- or oval-shaped UFOs have been documented worldwide. The United States, Russia, China, and even European nations have had multiple reports of highly maneuverable egg-like UFOs observed near military installations and nuclear facilities. The fact that such an object has now been photographed at India's premier defense research facility suggests that this may not be an isolated incident. Some speculate that these objects could be part of a global pattern, indicating either ongoing extraterrestrial surveillance or a shared technological advancement among the world's military powers. India has not been a country frequently associated with public UFO discourse, yet there have been numerous sightings in remote regions, particularly near military installations, missile test sites, and restricted airspace. If this object is indeed of non-human origin, then its presence at a top-tier defense facility suggests that India may be involved in retrieval and study efforts similar to those rumored to exist in the United States and other nations. Theories have emerged that India, like other superpowers, may be working on reverse engineering UFO technology to advance its aerospace capabilities and national defense systems. Another major aspect of this discovery is the lack of an apparent propulsion system on the object. Traditional aircraft, drones, and even most advanced hypersonic vehicles feature clear indicators of propulsion, such as exhaust ports, wings, or aerodynamic control surfaces. However, like other reported egg-shaped UFOs, this object appears seamless, with no visible means of lift, thrust, or propulsion. This design characteristic aligns closely with reports from military pilots and radar operators who have described UFOs that move without traditional propulsion and defy known aerodynamics. If India has recovered such an object, it could represent a breakthrough in understanding anti-gravity or exotic propulsion technologies that are not yet publicly known. One of the most striking aspects of this revelation is the location itself. The Defense Research and Development Organization operates some of India's most classified research hubs, making it highly unlikely that this object was left out in the open by mistake. Some researchers believe that this could be a deliberate leak or an unintentional exposure, where someone within the defense establishment may have allowed this object to be visible, knowing that it would be discovered through satellite imagery. If that is the case, then this may be part of a controlled disclosure effort, in which governments slowly reveal the presence of UFOs and non-human technology without causing widespread public panic. Alternatively, some have suggested that this object could be a cutting-edge Indian aerospace project, perhaps a next-generation drone or experimental craft. However, even within the most advanced aerospace engineering fields, an egg-shaped design with no visible propulsion system remains highly unusual. Many of the world's leading stealth aircraft and drone prototypes still rely on conventional aerodynamic features, whereas this object bears no resemblance to any known human-made aircraft. This lack of similarity to conventional designs has led many experts to believe that if this is indeed a human-made project, then it represents a completely new form of aerospace technology, one that has not yet been disclosed to the public. As this discovery continues to gain attention, there is growing interest in whether Indian authorities will acknowledge or attempt to explain the presence of the object. If the government remains silent, as has often been the case with UFO-related events worldwide, it will only add to the growing speculation that this object is something highly classified, possibly beyond conventional human engineering. Some researchers have called for independent satellite tracking efforts to monitor the location over time in case future images show further activity around the site or reveal additional anomalous objects. This revelation also brings up the question of whether other nations have been tracking similar events within India's defense programs. It is widely believed that global intelligence agencies monitor each other's military developments through satellite surveillance and espionage. If India has been working on reverse engineering advanced craft or has come into possession of non-human technology, it is likely that other governments are aware of it and may even be conducting their own secret investigations into what has been discovered. The photograph of this egg-shaped UFO at an Indian military site is one of the most compelling pieces of evidence in recent history. Its precise, smooth design, lack of visible propulsion, and strategic location within a top defense research facility all suggest that this is no ordinary aircraft.